Hello, Rickman87 and welcome back to Combat Mission Cold War. We are just getting into the swing of things, killing time at Kirtof. We are an American task force with the orders to delay the oncoming Russian Motor Rifle Battalion for 60 minutes if we can, inflicting as much casualties upon them in the process and saving as much of our own skins as we can. In the opening 12 minutes, we've seen the kind of forward elements of the Russian force move into these wood lines. There's been a brief exchange of ATGM fire, mercifully going in our favour. So we have knocked out one BMP, and we scored a penetrating hit on a T-64B, I think, turret, which didn't knock out the tank, but was probably taking out the main gun. Maybe, we'll see. I've said that a lot over the course of my combat mission career, and sometimes it's right, and other times it comes back to haunt me. However, we have expended 4 or 5 ATGMs, so that's not a great return on investment, even if it is good in terms of it being a one-sided affair, so no casualties on our side. However, we have seen them, like I say, forward elements, a couple of BMPs, one of the certain tanks, some infantry moving through these woods, probably trying to set up maybe a bit of a spotting position, potentially calling strikes or just to kind of recce out our defences. And so we have called in some lovely 155mm howitzers, which are 3 minutes away from dumping a large amount of shells on this wooded section to hopefully clear up Russians there. In view of that, and also because I don't want to waste, quote unquote, more of my ATGMs from my kind of tomes at the back here, I have asked this guy to pop smoke, and essentially just so he's covered, so he doesn't take any hits while we wait a couple minutes for artillery to land. And I've also asked this guy just to dive into the cover of the woods, and we'll bring them back out as we see the forces move. In terms of our other flanking toes, we've got one chap here who at the end of the episode ran away, popped smoke and pulled back. And so I've just asked him to swing around, not come right through to the front of the woods. We'll just bring it into here in a position ready to kind of come out post-barrage and catch any more Soviets moving across the terrain. The other order I've given is on the final toe, who we had been bringing up to kind of cover this flank. I didn't have him in a great position, to be honest. In fact, you can see here I didn't quite finesse his final position, and then see, actually can't see into the wood, it's just that road in front of it. So I've asked him to come back out here, and I'm actually going to bring him up just onto this shoulder here. So it's a bit of a roundabout way, but it gets him there in the end. And the reason is he should get a reasonable kind of hull down position to this back slope in here, maybe, and that's where we've seen the Russians kind of, certainly thus far, kind of coming in here and moving down and around, and he might be able to spot something and pick it off. If not, I'm not going to leave him there forever, but just I'll leave him there for the next couple of minutes, see what we can see. Again, his main mission is to join up with this force and to give a kind of a kind of reverse angle attack onto this plain, hopefully as the Russians push across it. But that's where we are at the moment. Best laid plans and all of that. Oh, did I just see a... Oh, it's just an unread box. Okay, so we shall see how that transpires over the next few minutes. Let's just kick things off. See what we can see. To be honest, the real goal for us would be a quiet couple of minutes, shell a boatload of BMPs and Russian infantry in these woods, and then we pull out again. So who can get sight on you? FO can... Oh, hello. Hang on. Fired this. That may be from... Yeah, it's going to be fired before I issued the previous orders. Which is okay. I can't complain about that. He's probably going to hit a tree, but you never know. Well, I hope my limiter is working, because that was loud at my end. And looks like it did very little in the way of damage, which I'm quite surprised about. So the reason I'm sitting here in somewhat confusion Is that didn't register as a hit? I'll look from this angle. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty confused by that. Definitely sounded like a hit, but there's no little hit notification. And it seems to be a perfectly happy little BMP. Oh, no, it's knocked out. Oh, well, let's hang on. It didn't appear, Reckman, because you turned it off. Just early in my setup, I was turning off the exit zones, which is Alt-J on my fat fingers, and pressed Alt-H instead. There you go, mystery solved. Hit, front hull penetration. Dead. Okay, perfect. Which is good, but also, you know, we've got artillery coming in, so maybe didn't necessarily need it, but I'll still take it. It's one less ATGM platform that they have facing us. We've still got obviously the one at this end. See how that does. It's fine there. Smoked you've hidden, that's okay. I think, to be honest, we're just going to keep going and wait for this either more spots, or we're going to wait for this artillery to rain down fire. I'm happy to keep him back a little bit for now. And hopefully he can see that and get him to correct. Now, I don't know why these guys aren't using the foxholes. In the setup, I did move them in and out a couple of times, but they didn't fancy it. Come on, call them correct. Although, your line of sight's a bit iffy. Thankfully, that's not quite how it works.
Splash out.
That looked pretty good. What are you going to call for that?
Shot over.
Not sure. Just lots of shouting. That was a fairly quiet minute. Okay, I think we're going to leave it be. I'll do a quick wrecking my forces to make sure everything else is going okay, and then we'll just crack on. We'll push forward another minute. All remains well in the world with my forces, so I think we're ready just to push on and hopefully see some howitzer shells rain down on this little wooded area. Because there's definitely infantry amongst here. And where there's infantry, there's eyes. What we don't want is Soviet eyes spying out our lovely defences. That's it, we hadn't heard the fire for effect command being called just yet. Okay. I must admit, I'm not...
Splash out.
Come on, surely that's... you can call that fire for effect, mate. There we go, good lad. I was quite quiet, I don't know if I'll have come through. But he called it. Surprised I haven't seen any more Ruskies appear. You know, given this is supposed to be... oh, okay, not a full regiment. They have been in combat already, but a large force. And given that I'm on defence, I expect a significantly larger force than my own. Thus far, all we've seen is, I suppose, a frontal element and a significant amount of artillery dropped on this woods, but as yet, no follow-up. So, again, I'm just going to... let's check, before I do anything else, on our little tool that could. Where are you? That is not the position I imagined it was going to be. And probably quite easily got yourself killed. And I suspect when I look at your targeting area, it's going to be pretty darn terrible. Yeah. Maybe we just pull back and we stick to the original plan. probably a wise move. I still like the idea of having a kind of an element being able to hit these guys in the flanks and doing a little bit of a kind of hit and run there. But I don't want you just sitting there. Something again, we're just going to pull you back and see. It was a nice, I mean it is a nice idea. But no, let's not do it. Let's come back along this way. Thank you. And then push yourself forward. Wrong one. That would confuse you immensely. Hang on. I'm just going to keep you back here now, and just so when we start seeing some movement, we can pop you forward, get a shot off, and then run away. Or a couple, depending on how greedy we're feeling. Good. Let's head back over to this side. Start seeing a few more things back here. So maybe they are getting some more troops on map. We shall see. Hopefully, all we need this minute is a firework display. Nice to see that tower of smoke from that beam. That was short. It's probably going to be worrying any infantry in the front lines. Some of that was there. Oh, hello, Tankington. No, that's probably BMP actually. So this is where I want this guy back forward again, but you can see onto this reverse slope, so if they're pushing for these woods, we will see them. Some reasonable damage. There's only 3 barrels we've got, so it's not doing as much damage as I had maybe envisaged. Oh, hello. Hang on. Right, let's hit the pause button. You are not BMPs. You are in fact tanks. Seems to be more of the T-64Ds, I think. So there's probably, I don't know how many you'd get. They usually come in 3s. Is it what? Is it 10 all in a full? But then I don't know if it's full. I can't remember. It's things like times like this I should jump into a quick part, see what their kind of formation. Remind myself what their formation is like, and go from there. The only people that can probably see you is this FO, correct? And you guys are quite far away, so that's all right. But with the time ticking on, it should give us an opportunity to pull this guy into position. Right, perfect. What I'm going to do is I want to move you, setting you on smoke, again back forward so you can make it onto there. I'll bring you into this position. What's your targeting look like? Yeah, there's a little ridge line there that's upsetting you. There is. So they've got a potential just to dive into this area and get away with it, so to speak. It's not the end of the world. Again, we'd not set up this area to be our particular killing zone. We're more focused on trying to pull them in this forward. But we'll scooch forward and get some eyes out there. Slight upset me. This guy in this barrage isn't doing everything I hoped it might. How about anyone else who can get good eyes on this? Because maybe I'm just gonna Muller it again. Nah, not really. Fine. Well, we'll keep up. We'll just have to adjust and maybe call in a second one. I am going to get these guys to rear their heads again, since we've got some formations on the go. Well, you were quite happy the smoke's cleared. That actually works relatively well. And likewise, we'll bring you back from your exile. Get you a reasonable long-range position. Now you've lost your short. So targeting, you still have it on. Let's take it off. Again, I'm just slightly concerned. I don't want them to expend all their ATGMs against marginal targets in heavy woods that they then miss. I'd rather use them on the open plains. Okay. Yeah. Again, they've got a reasonably clear shot if they run charged in there, so there's not a huge amount we can do about that. That's just part and parcel of the defence we have tried to line up. Hey, it looks better. So, they do have, look, they've got some infantry coming along here as well, so it's a combined arms effort. Looks like it's just a one section, or platoon, no, I can't remember the name, 3 tanks and 4 BMPs. Obviously pushing perhaps for this hill. Oh, that was a close one. To be honest, I might just call another strike down as soon as this one finishes. It'll be another 8 minutes or so, I think, call time. Looks like it's the next kind of section of tanks. That's slightly worrisome. Let's see where that has ended up. Who or what does he? Well, he's presumably the only thing he spotted is my ATGM sitting proud in this hill. Have you spotted him? No. Ooh. No, I'm really quite surprised this chap has not spotted the tank, but the tank spotted him. Because usually, when I play the other way around, I get, you know, I get absolutely nailed before I see the enemy, the Americans. What's your range? 3750. Oh, you're actually out of range. Okay. So, definitely that corner is not something we're interested in tangoing with. Now, thankfully, at this range, his aim is going to be pretty abysmal. Could you please, and as quickly as you can, duck yourself down into here. Hopefully provide you enough cover. I do not want to lose you as an asset, and similarly, I'm going to put you back in the woods. I will pull you out again. Yeah, at another time. Yeah, I just come right down to you, my friend. Good. Do not want to lose them. Too valuable. Okay, let's see if we can get away with that. And again, we're not really opposing this push down the right hand side. They can kind of come up to the near side of that hill if they want. For a fast command, that doesn't look very fast, but I suppose you've got to work up that acceleration. And we've not had any more shots fired at us, so that's okay. Okay, those guys seem relatively safe. Just make sure you don't inadvertently line of sight to that. Oh, actually, you do. Well, that's maybe not quite as safe as I thought it was. Just have to keep an eye for any ATGMs launched by that BMP. Well, they're slowly pressing. It must be honestly a lot slower than I expected, but here we've got eyes on now. So this is where this guy comes into his fore, or you know, doesn't at all. So that's the what's it, 30mm autocannon of the BMP. I think is just spotted and dealt with you. Yeah. Another round just to finish off. Ooh, okay, that's pretty unpleasant, and they pop smoke as well. Shots fired by the Ruskies. Okay, fair play. I kind of hoped we'd get the spot over there, to be honest. Right. Can't do huge amounts about that. Now, do I want to leave you here? A long-range ATM duel with that guy? Or do I want to leave him for the artillery? And save you for when there's more juicy targets on the planes. Honestly, I probably want to save you, don't I? Alright, got yourself down there. Oh, okay. Saddening, but there we go. We've lost our toe. We got 3 of his rounds away. I think he got one credited with 1 kill, so I'll take. Will I take that? I don't know. No, not really. I need to be doing more than one-on-one if I'm going to come out of this ahead. But fair play to the Russian spotting there. How are you looking on your fire mission? 1 minute left. If I adjust the mission, is it just? Man, he must have been oh so close to being millered there. If I keep the linear target, what we're doing, yes, very good. Yeah, I can't change the type of strike. Okay, fine. I was going to see if I could change it to maximum or heavy or anything like that. Well, it's just maximum. I really want just to keep pummeling that woods. The other thing, now I know the BMPs are here, is probably grab someone like you and set up a call using our target reference point. In fact, I probably should have done that as soon as I'd seen them. I do have a TRP somewhere in these woods. Hang on, let me kill the trees. There we go. And probably want to do something... it's not... It's not as wide an area around that TRP as I remembered being able to get. What can we hit? Really, is that just 80 meters around it? That seems unfortunate. Yep, 80 meters is all we can get. Okay, well 80 meters it is. Let us use that TRP. I think we'll do area fire. At least upset them a little bit by getting them to come through it. Yeah. Should have put 2 TRPs on here. Anyway, what's done is done. Hit them all with 3. Let's do... How long is this going to be? Shoot, 8 minutes on a TRP. I feel I've been too late with this. Let's go heavy, but just medium, I think. Because to be honest, they're probably going to be through
We need some indirect.
8 minutes on a TRP. So be it. Now, I obviously am not part of the rule of military, but I'm surprised in some of the more modern titles how long some of the delays can be. I think if you had an FO who were presumably connected into that structure, it wouldn't take you very long to contact a battery which is supposedly supporting you and say, fire on this prearranged location with what is fairly modern tech. But I don't know these things, so I will accept that that's how long it takes. Okay, any other adjustments we want to make? Probably not. These guys are set up ready to bear the brunt. Now, if we don't see any tanks come over the top, we could swing obviously our tanks to come and assist with these BMPs. They do have 80 gems, but obviously head-on short-range tanks are going to come out ahead. Maybe we'll hold on to that for just now. So our only outgoings this turn, I think, are the just continuing mortar barrage. Although it may just have finished. In which case we'll order another one. If nothing else, it's going to block our line of sight and hopefully prevent him from taking position in there again. Probably going to have to pull him back actually, just in case he doesn't get 30mm autocannon in his side as they come over the top. I think a better play would have taken this TRP, which I wasn't quite sure where to put, and put him on the other side of the ridge, so I had 2 I could have played with. But as ever, lessons learned, and we shall improve. I imagine they're chucking out all their infantry. That would be a sensible thing to do. And then they'll come through the woods. Well done, mate. You are. Let us. I know you'll take time to chill out and do it again, but I will. Let's do it again, please. Yeah, just do that. All your tubes. Honestly, medium's probably fine. Look, that's 9 minutes without a TRP. How come it's 8 minutes without a TRP? That does not seem like reduction enough. Right, anyway, we're going to stop moaning. Am I just going to do a maximum? Yeah, I'm going to do a maximum. If need be, I can always cancel it. Go and smash those things. You boys. Get yourself to the exit. Did that take? It did. Do you know, it's not actually that much of a rush. Just walk yourselves to the exit. Good lads. We'll get you off map. Save whatever small amount of points a single driver is worth. Meanwhile, they're coming over the top. I mean, this guy's relatively protected for now, to be fair. We also don't want, if they just drive their tanks up along this part of the ridge, don't really want him to be here. He's not going to get... We might get shot away if he's lucky, but he's probably then going to get annihilated. They could just bring the tanks straight over the top, which we talked about, problematic, or they could just drive them straight down this gap. But if I was them, if I'm supporting infantry push over the hill, you'd have hopefully wrecked out positions, and then you could sweep your tanks around to support from a bit of a flanking angle. Although it does expose you to large parts of the map, so probably not the best idea. What am I going to do with you? I would like to just double check what your view of the world is. Not great out that way, actually, so they could have things here and you just can't see them for the trees. Kind of limited to about this angle. Yeah, I don't want to risk my toe. I'm thinking I'm going to pull you back. Let's do that. Just down to in and about here for now. Back from front lines, and we'll go with it from there. We need this platoon needs to stop this risky advance, needs to hold it on its tracks and force them to come around. That is the general plan, and we kind of need to stick to it. Which means I would like you to have eyes on that little patch of land. Trees back on, which obviously you cannot see right now. Bring you back to about here. The tanks will now moved in range. I want you to have sight on that shoulder. Beautiful. That's exactly the place I want you to engage. Okay. Good. Let's push on. So you can get a few minutes out, so you can get a little bit more action. I think we'll probably might get some contact just towards the end of this episode, and the next one's going to be full on. I assume. Or they could just park themselves there. You never know. So all my guys here do have AT assets. We've got dragons, we've got laws. Even the headquarter units I equipped with a law. I took ones out of the M113. And over the ridge is pretty short range, so I'm hoping we can get some rapid responses. Maybe I should... I'm now debating about whether I should swing one of my tanks up the front line, but no, we'll hold for now. Oh. First eyes of some... Actually, not first eyes, but we've got some Russian infantry. Hello. What can we see? One guy running... where are you running to? This ridgeline, probably for scouting purposes. Okay. Fair enough. We don't have huge amounts of kind of long-range anti-infantry. I suppose it's the vehicles that are really the juicy targets. Okay, that was fairly quiet. You are busy calling down your mission. What are we at? 8 minutes away. You're going to be 7 minutes away. 6 minutes. Good. Good, 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 good. Everything else is static. We're kind of just waiting for the thunder, so to speak. I think a lot of this episode has just been that expectation about things that are about to happen, but haven't quite. I do wonder where they've parked the tanks. They may have... I mean, they could have brought them up support. We left them back there, for all we know. I'm slightly on edge watching a map with nothing happening on it. Oh, hello. Hello. The question is, where are you going? Because if you come down onto this bit, I have eyes down here. If you start driving through the forest, I may have problems in my hand. Kinda looks like you're just driving through the forest. Oh boy. Yep. Yep, that's exactly what you're doing. Okay. Which is one of the areas of concern I'd raised during my initial planning, because if they come head on with tanks, that's not really the angles that we were looking to engage. I've got a few options. So these guys are at risk, and we're going to have to babysit them quite carefully. I think my strongest options are going to be these guys parked in the corner. Hello. Bring them both up so they've got eyes on that gap in the woods. So if we do try and cross from that tree line, we start hammering them. I think that's going to be the strongest play. I don't really want to start getting head-on engagements between M60s and T64s. Because although I should come ahead one-on-one, their armour can take a punch every now and again, and there's more of them. And it's just I'm looking for better odds in a straight-up fight. I want to make it as unfair as possible. Alright, well that is us at... Am I going to be cheeky into it? No, tell you what, we'll do one more minute in the hope of getting a bit of excitement. Tell you what, I'll put a quick edit in here. I'm going to tweak these guys' orders to make sure they can both see that little patch of land. And we're going to come back for one more minute, and then we'll probably call it a day. Alright, we've got ourselves set up. This chap already has good line of sight. This guy is also doing quite a significant move, and the reason I'm bringing him all the way over to here is just to protect ourselves from that BMP. Now, he's not even looking the right way, he's staring up more towards these forces. But if I left this chap kind of more on the hilltop, he is quite exposed to potentially getting noticed and nuked by that chap. So I want to bring him all the way into there where he has protected from that, but still has great visibility onto this little patch of ground there, which we're going to use as perhaps a bit of stomping ground. But we shall see. But okay, I said we'll promise you one more minute. So let's push on and see what we can get. Perhaps the place for the action is going to be over here. If we get anything coming over the top. And how we respond. Now our lines here are not the strongest actually, so if they do flank all around this shoulder at the exact gap in our lines, it's going to be a bit frustrating. We're starting to spot more infantry in the woods. Maybe they'll bring their infantry to the front, try and identify positions, and then bring in the vehicles to support. Oh, that's interesting. They obviously managed to spot. Are you kidding me? So I did have all these guys manning the guns, which yes, keeps me exposed. What are these Ruskies armed with? Let's have a look at just... Oh, I know what they're armed with, obviously. That was a frustratingly effective first spray of bullets there. Hopefully we're now going to turn some fire, although that's just a two-man dragon team, which is not the best one to be exposed there. Are we just going to fire back? No. Why would we do such a thing? Now we're in foxholes, which should give us a reasonable defense against small arms. Although we're likely to be heavily outnumbered. Well, that was a bit of a lackluster minute, but there you go. But that is us hitting 35 minutes, so we are going to stop there. So yeah, that is quite an interesting turn of events. So our mission now is to stall them enough, either that we get shots in their vehicles as they try and cross this open ground, or that they decide to try and come around to the flank, and again, we can nail them there. Yeah, and ideally they decide to make a big armoured push down the centre, but that hasn't happened. So we'll have to see where we go from here. But yeah, that's going to call us for the day. As ever, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. And I will catch you all in the next one. Cheerio.